name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos up. When new videos sop. Listen, if you know what a video sopping is, you let me know. Let me know in the comments right now what a sopping video looks like. I meant to say drop, but I got it wrong. Listen, I've only said it every day of my life for years on end. And, you know, I can't expect to get that right every time. That's how I would look at it. Like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are very good. Thank you very much. So, you know, we live in shifting sands. Changing times. We are living in changing times. What does changing times actually mean? Sometimes it means that when you have a baby and you change their nappy or diaper, depending which side of the Atlantic you're on. No. That's not the changing times I'm talking about right now. The changing times of... Well, in recent years when about every 6 months, Paramount or CBS or whoever the hell they would call themselves that week, would announce a new Star Trek. So at first we're like, oh yes! Oh, new Star Trek cinematic? Oh, it's going to look great. Oh, the first episode of Discovery, like that a lot. Oh, they were all great. And then it all really turned to shit really quickly. And look, the culture war happened. And it wasn't fun. I think the culture war is over. A barometer of that is Star Trek Picard Season 3. Now, you know, we did, up until now, sit round and mourn every 6 months when they brought out a new Star Trek show. Oh, Lando, no! Not Star Trek Lower Decks, not Discovery, not Picard. And then... we had an episode of Picard that was quite good, and the first episode was in Season 2 was good, but that, yeah, they went straight back into Star Trek Immigration, what other bollocks they were doing. But then we have Strange New Worlds, and Strange New Worlds, I want to watch things on their own merit, right? I want to watch it on their own merit to be able to judge them on how they actually are, not how, you know, perception is. By the way, a big thing that like really changed when I did that is my review of Westworld. I think it's one of the greatest things ever created now. I absolutely adore Westworld, but it was only because I don't think I was judging Season 2 on its own merits. We were in the midst of the culture war. Now I think the culture war's over, or is wrapping up, you know. I just don't think they have enough ammunition left. It's a war of attrition that has you know, finally I think run out of steam, but we're gonna find out. So anyway, we have Star Trek Picard Season 3 coming up. They're saying it's its own independent entity. It looks to me like a legitimate sequel to Next Generation. I would say just pretend Seasons 1 and 2 don't exist. I mean, that's really what you need to do to enjoy it, which is what I think they're doing. So I'm going out on a limb and thinking we can be excited about this. I think this is something we can actually genuinely be happy and excited about. Hopefully, I don't know. But here's a preview of what we have to look forward to. Now, this video was created over 3 days, right? Which is quite a lot for me. I started reading it on Thursday. So I'm recording this intro on Monday, February 13th. So Sunday was the 12th. Saturday was the 11th. Friday was the 10th. So Thursday the 9th, I started going over this article. It's from SFX magazine, which is actually a good article. Again, another thing that amazed me. Then my friend Dran, I can't speak this morning. Then my friend Dan dropped in, and the conversation moved off. So I basically left this after about 15 minutes. I came back to it, not on my next live stream, which was a Saturday night, but on Sunday night, yesterday, and finish it off, because I really want to put out this preview, because I think this is something we really could be excited about. I don't know. Listen, I understand many of you out there are just like, no, I am not going to put myself out on a limb and I like emotionally drop my shields, right? You know, I am not going to do that. I get it. I totally get it, right? I totally get it. I'm just an optimist. That's really me. And I'd much rather things be good. I'd much rather Star Trek be good. And so that's what I want, right? If it comes out and it's shit, I will say it is shit and I was wrong. I have no trouble being wrong, right? I have really no trouble being wrong. Everybody's wrong. That's what it's like. I don't know why people are so uptight about being wrong. Everybody is wrong. Like, I'm a Bible thumper. Like, I think the people in the Bible are like, you know, people we should look up to and emulate. And if you look at them in detail, in the Old Testament anyway, they're all wrong a lot of the time, most of the time, right? And we still like them. We still venerate them. Everybody is wrong. So I don't mind being wrong. I think I'm right. But I think I'm right. Let's find out. Let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are fantastic. Look at the video notes. You got my Twitter, which is going to get much more content coming on, video content on it once Twitter Blue is all set up here in Israel. They started to announce it, but they haven't rolled it out yet. Yeah, my Instagram. I'm finding Instagram bit of a pain in the ass to keep up with, quite frankly. But follow me on Instagram and Substack, my email newsletter. Now you're getting a very, very cool. As well as let you know about all my stuff I'm putting out. You're actually getting very, very, very cool fiction on my Substack, because the AI voice generators. I like, if I do Star Trek fiction, I can get John Delancey's voice to read it like it sounds like John Delancey, right? I get Leonard Nimoy. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what you're able to do. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's basically what I'm in the mood for at the time. So there's a bunch of original audio fiction coming up. Go sign up for everything. Thank you very much. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Genuinely, thank you for doing that. If you haven't done it, if you could consider doing it and actually do it, that'd be fantastic. Thank you for it. If you're just here to hang out, that's also cool. So as I said, this was from a few live streams. Come and join me on my live streams. They're on Saturday night, Sunday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night. Or night for me, after what time of day it is for you, wherever you are in the world. So let me hand over to me from several times over the last few days. Okay, let me hand over to you from then. I want to talk about Picard, right? I really want to talk about Picard. I think it's genuinely going to be good. So with that, let's look at this preview. The only bad thing about it is, yeah, they still have Raffi and weirdly 7 of 9. It's like that. I mean, like, why is she in Starfleet? Okay, that's just weird, right? Yeah, and he's a bit old and doddery. I get it. Yes, all those things are true, right? All those things are true. God, SFX. God, this is why this magazine is like a nightmare. It's like, although I do like a bit of Meet the Beep. There you go. Nothing like ages old news. Brace for impact. There you go. Let's have a look. Because I genuinely, I might be crazy, mate. I might be crazy, but I genuinely have high hopes for this. Robert My Burnett keeps saying it's great, right? I don't know what to tell you. He really does. Where's this? I'll zoom in here. One second. I got to do this to get the zoom button. There you go. There we go. Season 3 of Star Trek Picard may just do the impossible and silence keyboard warriors globally. Yes, it's really that good. I mean, I want them to do that. I want them to silence me, right? I want them to be because listen, Discovery is shit. Discovery is shit beyond shit. There's just so much shit to talk about with this. I'm much happier saying things are good, right? This is it, Trekkers. This is the big one. 20 years since we last saw the Next Generation cast together in Star Trek Nemesis. Man, what did I watch last? I watched Star Trek Generations last night. That is a piece of shit. Oh, my God. I was vaguely with them with the Kirk opening, but then going straight into like the sailing ship Enterprise and Wolf and it was just shit. Okay, everything about it was shit. Every creative decision was a bad one. It was and then by the time it started to get good, I was like, I just turned off. I'm like, enough already. This is shit, and it really was shit. You forget how bad it was, right? Then First Contact was great. I like Insurrection. I should really give. I should give Nemesis another go, but I just remember it being boring, very boring. And there's a weird mental rape scene of Troy. That was also, I know, she was too old for it to be sexy. I know, which is what they kind of were going for in a weird, creepy way. Okay, not as weird and creepy as when Uhuru did a palm dance in Star Trek 5. I mean, man, I nearly vomited, right? Anyway, so the original crew back for one final hurrah. But is it final, and will you be saying hurrah? Well, that's really the good question. The answer in terms are hopefully not, and most definitely yes. Okay, man, you better not be pissing us around, mate. This is Star Trek on a scale you've never seen before. Well, that I don't care about. I want to see it on the scale before. Like the old scale was fine. The point where showrunner writer Terry Matalis. By the way, I don't know what Terry Matalis has done, but I keep seeing the word red flag. Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Forget the red fucking flags, okay? Just wait and see what they put on screen. Okay, that's all that matters. What they put on screen. Red flags. Right? That really is it. That's the only thing that really matters. Has previously stated perhaps that he would actually have called it Star Trek Legacy rather than Star Trek Picard. Oh! That's what they should have done. They should have rebranded because Picard is a piece of shit. They really should have done, right? That particular legacy spans not from Star Trek Next Generation and Voyager, but also from Deep Space Nine as a scope of what Matalis and his team bring to the screens globally in February. Fuck me! They're saying everything right. They're saying everything right. I'm sorry. I understand they've kicked us in the balls, but now they're sucking our cock. I mean, I understand your balls are sore. All right, I understand, but now they're sucking your cock. Okay, just focus. Live in the now, baby. Live in the now. Okay, much better, isn't it? Long before spin-off series Picard was even announced, the creative discussion was always around that it was a continuation or a direct sequel to the Next Generation. So when returning casts were announced in 2022, it's fair to say people were a little bit excited. No, we weren't. Look, it was good for episode 1 of Star Trek of season 2. Season 1 was shit. They should gather up every print of that ever and burn it. It was that. I mean, and those ones they have digitally should be transcribed onto some digital medium and burned. If they ever purged from reality, it is shit beyond shit. Season 2, the episode 1 was good. Then it ended up being annoying. It ended up being like Mirror Mirror. Then it went to being just annoying Star Trek immigration. Then it found a plot, and by that time, I didn't really give a shit. Okay, as essentially season 2. They already did the damage, focusing so much on Star Trek immigration, which is, the annoying thing is this. The Hispanic captain of Stargazer was very good. Like I liked his cigar thing, right? I assume they were hollow cigars, but whatever. Fine. However, as soon as shut down the idea that Picard was already heading towards a reunion of the Enterprise E in its third and final season. Okay. No, it wasn't revealed. There wasn't a plan. When I came on board season 2, Alex Kurtzman and Akiva Goldman executive were always thinking about each one of these seasons being a different story. Fine. Finally, they're telling a good story, right? So while they work on season 2, we weren't thinking ahead. Well, that's clear from that. Aside from maybe some starship sets to season 3. And so about halfway through the shoot of season 2, when it was time for me to split off and do season 3, the question became, what is it exactly we're doing for the last hurrah? Okay. Well, so far you've done shit. Try doing the opposite of that, right? Don't do shit anymore. Okay. I had certainly always wanted one final Star Trek Next Generation adventure. Yes! So do we! Cocksuckers! Yes! Yes, that's what we want, right? That is what we want. Okay. Here's a question for you, right? You have a choice, right? Mr. Plix says, I will give you a choice. You can either have a blowjob from Troy, not Marina Sirtis, but from Troy, in her prime, right? In that skin tight outfit, low cut, lots of cleavage. A blowjob from her or Star Trek Picard could be good, right? Which one do you go for? I don't know. It's a good question, isn't it? It's a good question. I mean, I would say get Tasha R in there as well, but she's dead, so it's a bit creepy. Right? I don't know. Who is the hottest person to be in Star Trek? One second. They had Mariam Darbo. Fine. Okay, no, forget it. Just Troy. A 3-hour sex session with Troy, for in the holodeck, so you can you can let your imagination run wild, or you can have it start. Oh, this be good. Whoa, it's a hard question, isn't it? It's a hard question. That's really a test of what type of person you are, right? How altruistic you are. I don't know what that'll be a hard one. That'll be a hard one. I mean, and I'm talking about in the holodeck with Troy. Anyway, I digress. It's a skin tight outfit that did it. I'm sorry. That's the only thing about Star Trek Generations. Troy looked awesome in that. I mean, like, I don't know how much Marina Sanders was dieting and working out. She probably ate a pea a week to look like that, but she looks awfully good. So I sat down with Patrick at his dining room table and took him through what I thought would be the final story of Picard and some arcs that I felt need to be paid off for his character and some relationships and some storylines. After a bottle of wine, we were off to the races. Yay! And those hoping for an elaborate explanation of what might have been a story. Perhaps Patrick had other ideas. We're sorry to disappoint. No, don't even fucking tell us. We've seen his ideas. They're awful. Right? They're genuinely awful, right? They are bad. These are bad ideas, right? Okay, Pat, you're an actor, right? Actor, not a writer, mate. Okay? Good actor. Stick to that, okay? Stick to that. Oh, Raph is back. Fuck off. So there wasn't a plan B. I have no idea, Mendoza's last. It was this. This was always what we want to do. So, okay, fine. Good. Yeah, no fucking choice. I like it. That's good. He ran out of things to moan about. You got Biden. Everything's good now, isn't it? Oh, my God, you morons. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing stories about people feeling inauthentic because they just in denial about how bad things are. That's all I wanted to find. And it wasn't that hard. Alex and Akiva, fuck off, both of you, were both on board. Yeah, they said you do it, leave us alone. Patrick was quickly on board, but then we had to go to the studio with the studio, the network. It's a different financial commitment to bring everybody back too. Yeah, they want more money, I guess. We had to figure out that as well, but there wasn't a plan B. This was it. Well, good. Doesn't mean it has persuasive skills or it was a particularly good bottle of wine. No, it was just like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. You back up that Brinks truck of money. I'll do whatever you want. Okay. I think that was everybody felt we had earned it. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, listen, the fan has bloody earned it, right? We totally earned it. Oh, misery you guys have put us through, right? Oh my God. Oh, it's like I can't believe how bad it worked out. I was so excited about this new iteration of Star Trek. Man, what a shame. I mean, although again, Tracy Wells was good. I just wish I'd get rid of the lesbian Latinx character. Just irritates me. I mean, she's just there for demographic representation. Fine. So when I set out to make the first season show, I wasn't there, thank God. But the mission statement was that we weren't going to be a next-gen story. Well, that's certainly true. It was a shit story, right? So we kind of, I mean, the story now, the more and more I think about it, the more annoying it was. So we kind of had to build up to it. Certainly, when I came on season 2, I tried to push for as much as I could, go with Q and Guinan and things like that. Oh, so that's a good idea. I mean, although again, in Star Trek Generations, you have Guinan and the Kirk's time looking like Whoopi Goldberg. That was such a dumb idea, right? I understand you couldn't get Whoopi to be young, but like, what do you want? Having Q in it was a good idea, though. If that was his influence, he was a good influence, right? Having John Delancey makes anything better. I agree with you, right? So season 3, we you can kind of feel the difference for sure. Is the kind of story it is versus seasons 1 and 2. Thank God. Oh, thank God. Yes, we want those seasons 1 and 2 gone, buried and forgotten. Oh God, they're so shit. I mean, they really are. They really are just remarkably shit. It's breathtaking quite how shit they are. and they are indeed that shit. It's quite a testament to behold. I have to tell you, it's you have to work hard to really screw up to that level, right? Now I lost the screen. Dwick, that's where. Fine. So that's the understatement of the year, and it's only January, right? A word that you'll often hear thrown around is cinematic. Well, that's a red flag. It's one of those red flags. Cinematic. Picard season 3 truly earns that the right to be called cinematic. It's fair to assume Metalis has made things much, much bigger. It's very fair, he laughs. It's a gigantic. It's so big. Oh, Mr. Producer, it's so big for me. I know. You're a good actress. You can have the role. You can have the role. It's very fair. She cried. He laughs. It's a gigantic. I cannot believe we've got away with it. Started Next Generation, born in 87, out of a cultural movement, just as the original 60s was. You think? What cultural movement was there in 87? There was just lots of good TV and movies, right? It was a bit of a golden age. But fashion worry that doesn't keep up with the original spirit of the previous 178 episodes intact. Nor should new viewers think that these 10 new installments don't reimagine the format. Well, one or the other. It's both. Okay, let me know then. Metallicin counters. It honors what came before, honors the spirit of it. I've said that before, but also takes into account that it's been over 20 years since we've seen many of them. Look, it's fair. Honestly, although in season 1 and 2 was a breath of fresh air because it was very traditional, normal Star Trek. It was a bit boring though, and it only really got good when it started to become its own thing. Right, when it started to look in its own, and then it imploded instantly. Like a minute it went to Hulu, it just imploded. There's no there's no full season. It was a piece of shit. That's why. It might be that maybe next year they'll announce it, but it doesn't sound like it. So it's okay, fine. Storytelling and serialized television have changed since then. So we do both. If you're looking to for it to feel like those next gen characters that you grew up with, you will see them everywhere. You will see them everywhere. If you're looking for something a little new, when you catch up with them in unexpected ways, will you get those next gen feels back for sure? Yeah, okay. Yeah, look, I don't want it to be still with the shitty sets, right? I get it. They got to make it for modern TV, and normally that's been the death knell, right? There's been like the sigil of doom, right? But I think they're going back to actually doing what they're saying, right? Saying, listen, can we just be more inclusive? Can we have some black people and gay people on TV? I'm like, fine, whatever. Who gives a shit, right? Not can we cut your children's balls off, right? I think that's detaching itself from the orthodoxy, right? And I think the artistic world is much more in the normal, right? Again, the dividing line isn't left and right. The dividing line is crazy versus normal, right? When you're castrating children and saying you're a good person, you're in the crazy camp. I mean, some would say, not me, obviously, because YouTube wouldn't agree with that. YouTube says it's okay. But some would say, not me, obviously. Yes, snip away. I'm sure nothing bad will come from it. Oh, it's terrible. It's like, I mean, how low do we have to go? I don't know. Oh, man, please. End the day's clock. Come on. Take too long. So it feels like a feature film, a final feature film. Describing these 10 hours as being like a film is something that else fans can expect to hear a lot. No, and no, it's not hyperbole. In fact, it feels like so much like a film. Well, that really hasn't been so great before. that the cast actually threw down the gauntlet to Paramount at last year's Comic-Con to make another feature featuring them. And I said, yeah, they didn't they? Well, certainly. Look, I mean, they could recut it into a movie and release it commercially. I wonder, as cinema. I wonder what would happen. Wonder if it will go. Maybe. They certainly did a great time, and they certainly would all love to do it again. I think there are ways of seeing these characters again in a kind of next generation story. I hear that. Not all these characters. I'm not going to say they all necessarily make it safely out of season 3, but I like him saying that, right? And a bit of danger. But I will say in science fiction, there are always ways of seeing people again. I hear that. I do hear that. So, of course, who wouldn't do this forever? I have a feeling, by the way, they're going to overwrite Data into lore or something like that to bring Data back. Yeah, that's my guess. So much for the final voyage, touted as the epic trailer as revealed in the New York Comic Con. And that, off the back of this third season, is a bloody good thing indeed. One wonders why there has never been 6 next generation movies, because people stopped watching them. They didn't make enough money. They didn't know what to do in the time that's passed since Nemesis. Matthias continues. But that's the way the world, whether it's been Indiana Jones or Ghostbusters or anything else, you don't always get to see those kinds of stories. It's hard to get everyone back together to convince the studio and network that it should spend more money on it. I hear that. I do hear that. You get everybody in a room, and of course you're going to say, let's do another movie. But the first person to say these stories in this time period, particularly this Picard timeline, is post-Bourbon producer Rick Universe. Could continue. That's certainly where I'm most passionate about. Well, again, it's been shit up until now, right? They spent the first year taking shit on it, the second year kind of like ignoring everything it did in the first year. And the users can never really answer without giving too much away. But, we're going to ask about the what? Oh, tell me more. It does look, I mean, again, the wolf looks good. It looks very Star Trek-y. But the possibility of more. This season is very much passing the torch to the next generation. Oh, well, that's good to know. Matthias states. So it will really be up to the fans whether they want to see more. Star Trek has always been up to the fans. The fans have brought back the original series. That's true. The original series characters into features and films and conventions and kept it alive. So it will have to be the same here. So we'll see. Listen, I think that's the way it should be. If it does well, if it gains an audience, it lives. That's what we used to have, and we used to have good TV because of it. I'm sorry, most of Star Trek is good, right? Discovery stands out like a sore thumb. Picard season 1 stands out like a sore thumb. Most of Star Trek is watchable, right? It really is. Where we're up to now. Star Trek has always been up to the fans. Fine. We'll see. Sort of same there. You heard the man. If anybody messes up, words will be had. I'm sorry, Terry. Sorry, I have that. When asked if there was anything he would like to work on in the Star Trek universe, Matthias replies in the affirmative. Oh, please say. Let us know. I've always wanted to see more of this particular cast. I want to see more of Janeway, particularly of her relationship with 7 and 9. They hated each other, and of Starfleet, right? I've always wanted to see more of what happened to those Deep Space Nine characters. Dude, get the documentary What We Left Behind. They break down a first episode or a first season of a revival of Deep Space Nine, and it's awesome, right? It's really good. I'd love to see the Doctor again from Voyager. I actually agree with you. I mean, like, you could have had him in this, quite frankly. He's a hologram. Man, I like the one where it was do you remember one where they had a copy of him was caught on this planet and they thought Voyager was evil, That was a really great Voyager episode. I really loved that. That was a really genuinely good episode. But ultimately, it's not up to me. It's up to the Star Trek gods, if you will. If there'll be any more in that time period, if it does well, that's what it boils down to, right? And that's where everything is now. Everything is performative based. This is very good news. Like you hear that, it's saying everything is performative based. That's really very good news, right? So that means if there's going to be Star Trek, it's performative based as well, right? Discovery. I hope you don't tank Star Trek, mate. With the show being on this scale, we'd mentioned how epic it is. It's pretty obvious that the events of Star Trek Picard Season 3 were going to have a wider impact on the Star Trek universe. In fact, Matthias himself previously stated that this season will be a game changer. Oh, God, no, please. Discovery changes the game every 10 fucking minutes and it's awful. Play the same game, maybe. Play the same game for a bit, right? Meaning it's definitely how I say this is, there is definitely a major event in the Star Trek universe, but it's not not the way it undergoes. It's not a way that undergoes it in any way, okay? People hear game changer and they go, oh, no, they're going to do something like Star Trek. They're going to do some what? Oh, God, they're going to undo some of Star Trek, so it's no longer feels like that. Yes, we've noticed you do that, mate, right? It's certainly what it is. It feels more like the event in Star Trek history. For instance, I was going to say Star Trek 6, Praxis blowing up. Okay. I mean, listen, they did have like the Vulcan blow up, wasn't it? William Riker. He has lost a ton of weight for this one. Man, okay, well, we'll look at that next. This is Beverly Crusher. I don't really care. I like Gates of Had I'm probably not really near interview. I'm sorry, darling. Undiscovered Country. How long much? This goes on for a while, man. 2 more pages. Maybe we'll read the Riker interview. Yeah, I know exactly. Yes, and they want to say it'll be something like that. So again, it's like Vulcan blowing up. Which timeline is that in? Because that happened from the next gen timeline. I think beyond this, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that will be a moment in Star Trek history that everyone will remember, and that's certainly true here. Speaking of Undiscovered Country, there is a link, albeit a familiar one, with Picard. Amanda Plum, the daughter of Christopher Plum, who played Chang. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Appears as Valdic, but Matthias is quick to question her being referred to as one of the 3 villains in this season. There's 3 villains. Okay. There are certainly villains in the way that you wouldn't know them as villains, but they're not traditional villains. Meaning, I don't know that they will fulfill that specific role without spoiling anything. Well, that's interesting. So it sounds like they're going to have they want to have some kind of Game of Thronesy complexity. Which, okay, I mean, if you're going to do a villain in the same way that what's the name, Lannister was a villain, that could be very good, right? That could be very, very good. We wanted a major villain for Valdic that would be larger than life. Classic Star Trek villain. Yeah, she's got a real Khan vibe to her, right? And her own reason for doing what she does. And when you heard them, you say, she might have a point. Yeah, okay. So they give them, depth. In the writers' room, we are creating her character. We always reference Amanda Plummer. I certainly, I love a certain unhinged quality that she would give to her performance. I do. I mean, and like she was awesome in not Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, right? Her and Tim Roth in Pulp Fiction at the beginning were just fantastic, right? They were absolutely fantastic. So yeah, she has that unhinged quality, right? There's a vulnerability to her as well that made her perfect for Vadik. I can't wait to find out what the story is. And we're lucky that she says that she said yes. Yes, you are. She's a great actress, right? As far as the other 2, Daniel Davis, Preston Moriarty, and Brett Spiner's Law. Oh, so they're the villains in this. I thought they were on Picard's side. That's interesting. You have to wait and see how those 2 play out to understand how organically they fit into the story. Yeah, okay. I don't think they're villains, right? Also, Matthias also shot down theories that Dr. Pulaski, puts an appearance as the Enterprise E appears. I'll be lovely. And here's the debunk rumors of Denise Cosby return. Yeah, man, Denise Cosby does not look camera ready, shall we say. Many years, many moves have gone by. Let me see if I can find a picture of her today. Denise Crosby today. Let's see if I can find. It's I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be mean, but yeah, she doesn't look like Tasha Yar anymore, right? Let me just say she looks like an old lady, which is fine, but she's an old lady. Just keep in mind, she's an old lady. I'm not going to show this picture. It's too scary. She's not going back. Where are we up to? Doink. There's definitely a reference to Tasha, but nothing beyond that. Okay. As somebody who grew up with Star Next Generation, it clearly knows the characters well. I get that vibe. It feels like they're trying to recreate that world. We'll know in 4 days. 4 days. Oh, whatever. I'm going to clip this out and make a video of it. Whenever it comes out, we'll know. Right? We'll know. I'll probably put this out on the day it premieres. But I think it's... I have high hopes. I do. I genuinely have high hopes. I was very fortunate that everyone who saw it was... it was... 1 second. No. Go back. As somebody who grew up with Star Trek, the character knows the characters. Getting the right for the iconic cast, as well as characters who have legendary status in sci-fi history, brought a new level to Star Trek, new levels of this Star Trek experience. It was surreal. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. He says, man, I'm just like, when you say Star Trek experience, I'm just lamenting that they closed that one in Vegas. Listen, if ever I become Emperor of the Universe, I'm building a life-size Starship Enterprise. That is just happening, baby. That's that'll be in the desert where I'm going to build a huge city where future television whatever production can take place. But I want the Enterprise there. You know, you can go and hang out by the light of the nacelles at night. I think it'll be very, very pretty. Anyway, a life-size, baby, life-size, and also kind of a realistic version of the original series one, right? Kind of like Strange New Worlds. Fine. Just keep in mind, you heard it here first. That is 100% happening. If I become Emperor of the World. So that's just, the one hurdle we got to get over. But you want it to happen now, don't you? Right? You want me to become Emperor of the World. And I have to tell you, you're right. You're right to want that. Because who wouldn't want a life-size original series, Starship Enterprise? I make this for you, my people. Where are we up to? Well, it was and there was a tremendous pressure to get it right. Good, I'm glad. The first thing I said, I didn't want to do anything that felt that any of these actors didn't feel strongly for. So I looped them back into the conversation from minute one and took them through the whole story as I saw it. I was very fortunate. I hope they ditched the whole Riker backstory shit. That was awful. I was very fortunate that everyone saw it mostly the same way. So crafting crafting where these characters have been for 25 years, when we meet up with these actors, was an incredible collaboration. And now they made for a richer portrayal. Yeah. Listen, actors are massive narcissists. But they do know their characters because they they think about themselves a lot. And I look Star Trekky, mate. I don't know what to tell you. It looks Star Trekky to me. He says the cast did have firm weight. They're so dumb to stop the fan films though, because if we just had more Star Trek going all this time, it would have fed it. But because there hasn't been good Star Trek for so long, it's really killed the desire for it. Man, really have. Strange New Worlds really helped them out a lot. But they really want to get those fan films back, if they were smart. The fan films were very good, right? They really want to get those back. What were we saying? He says that the cast did have firm ideas, but they wanted their characters to be years later. but we had the same firm ideas. There was never a disagreement. When I called LeVar Burton, I take it, I'm like, here's where I think Georgie is, and here's where I think Georgie is, and here's who he is now, and the story will be like, the story will be telling. Okay. Once I took him through the beginning, middle, and end, he was in tears. Yay! Well, listen, he's very protective of Geordie. I have to say, he really is very protective of that character, and for good reason, right? It made him he did Roots, but like it really made his life, right? He's honestly, I've always found LeVar Burton. He's been a dick. I've never heard of it. He's always seemed to be a bit of a class act to me, right? Again, he's a Hollywood fanook, right? So obviously, you got to take that. But he's always like tried to give the appearance of being a good person. So good for him. And again, I do know he is protective of the character. He was like, I absolutely want to do this. I want to do this so bad. Good. I hope they're not lying. Those are beyond meaningful experiences to do them right, to write by them, and to be on the same page is extraordinary. Never mind just being on the same page as Sci-Fi Lessons, we inquire with obvious fanboy glee what it's like being on set with them. I bet that's a lot of fun, right? On set with the Next Generation cast. I get asked this a lot, yeah, and the truth is, there was such a pressure to get it right, and we didn't have a lot of time, and that was rarely a moment where there was rarely a moment where it did happen. Okay, I think they're saying it worked out right. Here we go. Doink. When does it come out? February 16th. Right, February 16th. Is it on Prime Video? Okay, fine. I have that. But there's rarely a moment where you can take a breath and say, oh my God, look what we're doing. That's the truth, right? That's the truth. I mean, like, television production is a hectic and a big deal. Right, I bet they didn't have time to realize what they're doing. I think the same is true of Russell T Davies working on Doctor Who. Right, I think he's probably trying to stop and savor the moment. Look, I could like, I hear that. That's actually why one of the reasons I've been really digging that show, Derek. Right, it's really making me stop and savor life. Right, which is good. Yeah, I'll talk about that as another time when I finish the full run of it. I'll do a big review, but I really like it. It's very nice. They're working it up. Yeah, they were busy. So there was little tiny moments where we would turn to where I would turn to another writer, and it would turn to Jonathan, who I was fortunate enough to have to hang out with me at Video Village. I bet he's helpful as well. Around the area around the Modron set for the entire 2-hour shoot that I did of the finale. Okay, he did a 2-hour shoot. That doesn't sound. I mean, 2 hours of footage. You mean a 2-hour episode? He says the stint of directing. Fine, so it's a 2-parter, right? Well, he says it's a 10-parter. Really, the last two. The last two, he was there for every second. He's a good friend, and those moments. So yeah, so it's kind of like a mentor by the sound of it. What we're doing, how cool is this? But mostly the pressure of the job doesn't allow you much of that. Yeah, I get it. You're too busy, right? When you're not really until post, when things comes together with the music, you go, oh, look at that. Yeah, I do hear that. I definitely hear that. That's why when I make comics, I like putting the speech balloons on as early as possible, because that's when it looks like a real comic, right? I do that before the coloring a lot of the time, right? So where is it now? Geordie is within Starfleet with a family, 2 daughters. That's nice. Brett Spiner, you'll have to see. Deanna Troy is, of course, retired at home with her daughter and Riker. We may learn more about how she feels about that. Okay. He, of course, is an active reserve and still a captain with the Starfleet. Fine. Wolf, he's not a captain within Starfleet or somebody within Starfleet or somebody on a starship, but I will say, but may in fact have ties to Starfleet on his own journey. Mm-hmm. And Crusher, her life didn't quite play out the way that we saw things and all good things. That's interesting. She remained a doctor, but not within Starfleet. She's kind of a doctor without borders, tending to worlds that Starfleet may have forgotten. I like that for a character. That sounds really Brett Beverly, and I don't really like the character that much. That sounds very organically, the character. That's the sort of where her adventure begins. Fine. He takes a long, unexpected pause when asked if he didn't do a silent scream when walking through the set of any starship. It's a really tough question, he says, because, of course, anytime your job is the first thing in the morning to get a fresh coffee and walk onto a starship, you know you're blessed. I get that. It just sounds like he doesn't even think about it, right? That's basically what he's saying. What's next up for him? He's now doing Witch Mountain. Okay, the project he co-wrote, along with 12 Monkeys colleague Travis Fickett. Okay, and Bryce. In terms of Star Trek, however, there's nothing in the immediate horizon. Yeah, look, this is a one and done project. This is totally a one and done, which is good. I mean, it's good. This is, unless it's very popular, which is actually gonna be. So we're gonna get more Star Trek. We're gonna get more of this. Why is this going to be very popular? I'm going to tell you what. If it's what they're making it out to be, I'll tell you what, it's going to be very popular, because it's Star Trek and people like Star fucking Trek, you morons, right? They don't like the foo-foo crap you've been putting on. They like actual Star Trek, right? And I think people like Star Trek, and I think people will be happy to see Star Trek. And in the same way Mandalorian was successful, I think this will be successful. 4 days, baby, or whenever this video is going out. Today, baby, we will know. Love that poster. Love that poster. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.